All right, so I've been wanting to make this video for a while to help some of my local business clients, but basically I want to teach you a quick, simple strategy that you can use with Facebook advertising to get in front of your audience and stay in front of your audience for a really small budget. And part of the reason that I want to do this is because some of my clients that I've worked with, so I've been doing a group postcard. It's a big 9 by 12 postcard that has a bunch of different businesses on there. And the idea is to cut the cost down on direct mail. But even though I'm lowering those costs, it's still expensive. It's still something that, smaller businesses might have a harder time with. And so I know that Facebook ads is one way that really any business can do stuff on a really small budget. So I wanted to teach this strategy. Really quickly before I jump into that, just a quick concept to think about when it comes to your advertising. There is a rule that's been around that I heard, I don't know, years ago, called the rule of 7. And the idea behind it, this is really more of a concept than an actual number, but the idea behind it is that it takes a certain number of exposures to your business for people to take action. So just because they see an ad or an offer from you does not mean they're going to immediately take action. It doesn't matter how good the offer is. Sometimes if you have a better offer, then that's going to help. And I've seen a lot of that too, where some of my clients that I've worked with have had better offers than others. And so, definitely make sure that you're putting out good offers. Just because it's an offer that you like doesn't mean that other people are going to like it. I had one customer that my son and I were talking about their offer, and he said, well, I only like this thing at their store, but they're offering this thing. And so he said it wasn't something that was really of interest to him. And so when I heard back from the client, they said they weren't getting a lot of those coupons back. But my son also made a really good point that because of that ad that he saw, he was actually going to the business. He just wasn't giving the coupon. So they had no idea that the ad actually potentially was working. It was getting people there, but maybe not the intended way that they had planned. So make sure that your offer is good, but also keep in mind that sometimes advertising is more about awareness and getting in front of people and staying in front of people so that, you're top of mind when they're thinking of your product or service. And it's not always about this immediate result and an immediate return on investment. So just, some things to consider there. One other quick example, there was a company a while back. I had been seeing ads on Facebook for, months, if not up to a year. It seems like it was about a year that I'd been seeing their ads. If they had stopped running ads too early in the game, they would not have gotten my click and my purchase that I ended up making, because eventually one day I had seen the ad so many times. One day I finally clicked on it and checked it out, and I ended up buying something from them. So just, again, keep in mind, it's advertising is not always about immediate results. So the idea behind this Facebook strategy is to be able to lower your costs and help you get in front of more people on a more consistent basis. So let's go ahead and jump over to my screen here. So I'm actually on a Facebook page, and I'm here for one reason. There is this button here where you can click to go into create ads for your page. And this is going to give you an ad platform that's a really dumbed down, kind of simplified. If it decides to load, maybe it's not even going to load here. There we go. So this is not the platform I'm going to teach you how to use. I don't know what the consensus is today, but I've been running Facebook ads for a long, long time, like many years now. And it's always been the consensus that I've heard from, the gurus, the people who are really spending a lot of money and research and learning how to use ads effectively. A lot of these people have said for years, don't use this. It's too basic. It doesn't give you enough options, and it's just not worth using. So I'm passing along that advice. You take it or leave it. It's just up to what you want to do. But you may not have the same options in an ad setup like this that you will with the ads manager. So let's look at that. And to get to the ads manager, you're just going to need to go to this address right here, adsmanager.facebook.com, and it should pull up your ads manager. Now, this video is not going to go over the process of getting you set up with your Facebook ads. that's a whole different process, and you're going to have to go find some other videos on YouTube for that. I'm not going to be able to show you that right now. But once you get your account all set up, you should be able to come here and start running ads. So we're just going to run through this really fast because it's really easy, and I don't want you to get over confused by all of the different options that are available. So, because there's a lot, and we're just going to look at a handful of things. So I'm going to click create, and I'm going to just focus on this awareness ad. Okay. The whole purpose of this ad is to run an ad in front of your audience and let them be made aware of your business over and over again. That's it. It's not about getting people to click. It's not about getting people, driving traffic anywhere or getting any kind of a result that way. And for most local businesses, you're not driving traffic to a digital place anyway. You want people to come to your location. And so, some of these other things may not help you depending on what you have in place online. So let's click continue. Now, once you're on this page, you can see there's 3 things here. To make this super simple, there's complex ways of running all of this. I treat all of this as one ad. It's one ad. That's it. So the campaign, the ad set, and the ad all represent one ad. That's how I do things most of the time. You can add multiple ads in under an ad set. So I can have 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. I can have multiple ad sets under a campaign. That complicates it. Don't even worry about that. We're just going to do one campaign, one ad set, one ad. Okay. So for the campaign, I usually like to do something like this, where I have my business name. That's just for me. That's kind of more habit. You don't need to do that, but I run other things under other businesses sometimes. And so having the specific name lets me know this ad was specifically for that branch. And then I'm going to say aware, or you could put awareness. And then usually what I do, or I've started doing this a while back, is I'll put in the date. So today is the 11th of June, and that's how I manage my campaign name. So I know that I ran an awareness ad. I know this is the date that it started on, and I can know that just from looking at the campaign name. So from here, I'm going to click next. And for the performance goal, there's really only 2 options you want to even mess with at all. And the second one adds another level of complexity. So the maximize reach of ads is fine for probably most of what you're going to do for this campaign. But if you are running a video, then you might want to try and get a lot of people to watch the video. And if you do that, you would have the ability later on to retarget people who watched that video. So that would be the benefit of doing a video. And I'll have to do another tutorial and show you how you would retarget. I'm not going to do it here, but those are the options that you would probably want to focus on. The reach of ads or the maximize through play. Both are going to work the same. Again, this one's just going to give you that option down the road to be able to retarget those people if you wanted to. So select your performance objective. You're going to want to select your page, and that's pretty much it for that. And then your budget is the next thing. You can run these as low as $1 a day. I don't care. Sometimes it's going to give you errors like this when you change things. This should work. It's worked in the past, unless something has drastically changed and Facebook is going to stop. They've stopped delivering at that low of an ad spend, but I would be really surprised. Test it for yourself. If you want to run a little bit higher though, that's up to you. If you've got the budget to do $5 a day, that wouldn't be a bad thing either, but just kind of depends on your budget. So start date, the start end date, we don't need to worry about, because again, the goal with this ad is to turn it on and let it run. Locations would be the next thing we're going to edit. And I'm just going to go ahead and type in Idaho Falls, click on it, and it just dropped a pin there. So I can go in and adjust this as high as 50, or as low as 10, I think. So just depending on the radius that you want to go with, I'll just go ahead and make it big for this example. And then if I wanted to drop other pins, I could do this and drop one on Pocatello, for example. And then I can do the same thing. I can make it really big if I want, you know. It just depends on the area that you're trying to focus on. So that's up to you as far as your targeting goes. And then with that, that's all we need on this page. So we'll move to the next one. And oh, let me go back. I forgot to do one thing here. Oh no, I didn't. I did select the page. Never mind. So we should be good. I don't have an Instagram account connected, so we'll just leave it at Facebook page. And then you need to decide on the format. You're going to do a single image or a video or a carousel. So a carousel is going to have multiple images. I was hoping it would show a preview, but it shows multiple side by side. So it kind of can slide to the side to see the next one. Don't complicate it though. I would stick with just a single image or video, depending on what you're wanting to do. So, and then, you can put in a destination URL if you want on these. It's not like, I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt if you have a website that you want to put in, that's up to you, but I don't think you have to do that. Well, actually you do if it's selected. So yeah, if it gives you this little star, that means you're going to have to do it. So just put in your website, but this is not an ad that's designed to get people to click on it. So let's go ahead and finish creating the ad. So we scroll down to the setup creative. We're just going to do an image ad. And I'm just going to select this image right here, this first one, just so we can play around for a minute. So this you can see works no matter how, no matter how the image is set up or the ad is set up. Because in different places, it's going to look different. So for example, on a computer, it'll look different than it will on a phone. So that's why there's different versions of it. If for any reason it's not looking good here or here, you can always click original and it will shrink it down like that. Same thing there. So those are options that you have. And then when you're ready, just click next. And you can put in the add creative text goes here. And you can put a little short headline here. This is not going to be as relevant to this type of an ad, but you could, come see us today. I'll put that there so we can see how it's going to look on the ad. Same thing. Description here. We'll just put that just to see. We're not going to use a call to action button on this ad. That's not the purpose of the ad. Again, unless you actually are trying to get people to reach out to you, to contact you. What are some of the other options here? Learn more. So, I mean, if you want, or send message, that might be the other one that you could potentially use as a local business, is get people to send you a message so you can actually have a conversation with them. But that's up to you. I'm going to leave it to no button and click next. And then I'm not going to click on any of these variations. I don't really care about that right now. You're welcome to do what makes sense to you. So now we have the ad. You can see add creative here. Come see us today. And then there's this little room for the description. Now, some of the stuff on the bottom, like you can see over here, it's not going to display the same in every setup of the ad. So just be aware of that. The main thing you want is your add creative text up here. So that's it for setting up the ad. I don't think, it's up to you if you want to have these AI text generation or this generated text that is them putting in stuff. So I'm going to turn that off for this just so there we go. And again, you can have the destination or not. It looks like that's the spot where we can uncheck that. So it's not going to, so that changed it. It's not showing stuff down there now. So all that other stuff we put in didn't even matter anyway. And this is always changing. That's why I'm looking at this and I'm like, I was in here a week ago and there's things that are different now. So it's just the nature of it. But if you scroll through and you just go slow and you get familiar with just the main things you're focusing on, it's really not that hard to set up an ad. And then this is pretty much it. That's all we need to do. We would go down here and click publish, and the ad's going to go live, and I can just leave this running. And if I'm running it at, like I said, at $1 a day, test it a little bit. If you're not getting results, if it's showing, so on the, let me actually close this out for a minute. If I go to my campaigns, you can see I've got other things here, and it's going to show you data like this. So your reach, the number of people that viewed it, the frequency, stuff like that, your costs, and there's more to see as you scroll over as well. So you're going to be able to see all that kind of stuff. If you're just getting 0 results, then go in and look at that, dollar amount. Maybe you do need to bump it up a little bit to start getting some results, but test things. Don't be afraid to just kind of play with a setting and test it and see how it does. And again, the goal of this, the purpose is to get your ad out there in front of people. And you have such a small spend that, just it costs such a small amount to do this, that you can do it consistently and just indefinitely. You can keep it going and stay in front of people in your area or in whatever market that you're needing to advertise to. So that's really all there is to this. I hope you can see this is not super complicated. It looks scary, but there's just those handful of things that you need to set up and make changes to. You're going to have to set up an image as well. So, that's something that you can do very easily using Canva. Go in and set up an image for your ad. You can have text on it if you want. It just go make a nice ad or pay somebody to make you a simple little ad. Hire your nephew or your son or daughter or whatever. These kids these days are pretty good at that kind of stuff. So maybe somebody can help you with that. But get your ads running and start advertising your business. And I'm confident that in time you will see it is going to make a difference and it's going to help your business because people will now know that you exist. So I hope that was helpful, and I wish you success in your business.